that sound fine?
What's the boogeyman?
Welcome back to the Moonjuice Metal and Horror Podcast, the podcast where we live and breathe heavy metal and horror, but are afraid to shit on both of them. I'm Mike.
I'm Matt, and we are coming to you from Loch Ness in Scotland. So that is fitting for the podcast. We have not seen a monster, but we're told one lives here. Still kind of cool. We can actually say one episode of our podcast was filmed in Loch Ness in Scotland.
According to the scientific data gathering, they assume that what has been saw as the Loch Ness Monster is actually giant eels.
Yeah, we were looking it up yesterday, trying to figure out when the last sighting was. Supposedly there were like a lot of sightings in 2026, and that for the first time in a long time. But none of them can be corroborated with any type of evidence or photos or anything like that. There's some weird drone footage of something, but the scientists have also said exactly what you just said. It's a bunch of eels together, and it looks like a creature, but still cool. I mean, like, it's weird. You drive around this town, and everything is the Loch Ness Monster. Like, in every window of every shop, on every food stand, whatever, it's something to do with Nessie, and that's why this town is famous. Otherwise, if it didn't have a Loch Ness Monster, it's just another pretty place in Scotland with water. That's it. That's it. It's just another water town. Still cool, though. I would be outside filming the podcast from out there, but the weather is fucking dreadful. So it's just better to sit in the RV and do it. So we are doing a movie that this is just kind of like the last one. Like this podcast, we'll do newer movies, and then we'll go back to the classics, and then we'll do new movies and go back to the classics. This is one that I knew was coming, and this is actually one for me that I saw when I was very young. And I don't remember it scaring me. I think it was around the same time I saw Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet scared the shit out of me. Right, but this movie didn't. There's nothing really scary about this movie, but this is a staple to the zombie genre, like The Howling is a staple to the werewolf genre. This is one of the ones that really got the zombie genre going.
Yeah, this movie, its predecessor and the sequels to this one are actually the movies that basically launched the zombie genre as we know.
Yep.
I mean, zombies in pop culture actually became a thing through these movies, at least the first three. And I think we said it in another zombie episode that actually, due to the fact that the directors that made the first movie in this trilogy,
this is going to be a fun one to tap dance around, Mike.
Yeah, that they did not manage to secure the rights. For the first one, technically, all movies up from the 80s, the majority of zombie movies from the 80s up until the mid-end 90s are all unofficial sequels to these three movies.
Yes.
Or to the fourth movie in this series.
Yes. Yeah. And that's one of those discussions that if you go through it with someone who's a horror fan, you're going to get a lot of different opinions. Like the official canon is obviously what you and I know to be the official canon because it's split, right? It's split, but a lot of people still consider all those movies canon to the original and in the same timeline and in the same everything, right? But
you technically could say that they are canon. They're just different stories within the same universe, basically. You can say a lot of those movies. So technically, they can be canon.
But the similarities to all of them, other than the camp, because I would say the first, second, and third movie, there's not, if any, camp whatsoever. It's mostly very serious stuff. But then where the genre splits, you start to get into like the funnier side of it, right? And for me, that's where my canon cuts off. I consider the first, second, and third one the original canon, and then everything else. It might happen in that universe, but it's funny stuff. You know what I mean? It's more funny.
But I mean, the split off, was because the two directors had different directions they wanted to take it,
Right.
and the other split already happened after the first movie. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
There's no way we're going to be able to tap dance around this talking about it, Mike. So, what movie are we doing today, Mike?
We're doing Dawn of the Dead, 1978, the original.
Yes.
Yeah. So the original zombie trilogy from George R. Romero, the second part in it.
Yeah. So when I asked Mike yesterday what movie we were doing, and he was like, we're doing Dawn of the Dead, 1984. And I was like, all right, cool. I love that movie. And then I went up to look online to try to find a version of it that I could watch over here. And the movie came out in 1978, not 1984. Which makes it super fucking interesting, because this movie is like, this could have been filmed in the 80s or 90s. Other than what people are wearing in this movie is the only dead giveaway that it's in the 70s. Because in terms of being filmed well, it's filmed excellently, like really well.
Yeah. It's just I was super convinced that this movie was made in 1984. I don't know why.
It feels like it was made in 1984.
I just
like I said, other than what people are wearing in this movie and some of the cars, like you wouldn't really know, because of how it's filmed. The actors in this movie were not well-known actors before this came out. I'm not really sure I'd seen any of them in other movies or in movies since, to be honest. I'm sure that the main protagonist has been in other movies after this, that actor, because he's great. I don't know why he wouldn't get hired for anything else. I just don't remember him being in anything except for the thing that you pointed out, and that's that he's in the remake of this film from 2004. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The one of the main actors, his name is Ken Foray. Now, what a lot of people, I'm not sure how noticed this. In the remake, there's this priest in the beginning that holds this monologue on why everything's happening, and he basically says this thing: when hell is full, the dead will walk the earth.
Yep.
The priest in the remake is the original protagonist from Dawn of the Dead, the original one. Even to the point in the original movie, it says the exact same line as the priest does in the remake.
Right.
And to be honest, I did not actually notice that until I watched the movie again today. That actually that part of the remake was a cameo to the original Dawn.
Yep. I didn't know that. It's interesting though. And we were talking about how, like, before we started filming, the 2004 remake is a fucking fantastic movie, and we already did it for the podcast for one episode. You can watch it here if you want to. But that movie was great. And I think it did justice to this film in terms of being a really good movie. Because if you look back at this one, even though this one's kind of a long-winded film, you have to kind of give it props, just because back then this was only the second zombie movie ever made, and it does drag a little bit, just like a lot of movies do in the 70s. But overall, awesome film. I'm not sure what the budget was for it, but it seems like they had all the tools at their disposal that they needed to be able to make the movie. Like, nothing looks cheesy here. Nothing looks halfway done. The sound effects are a little off every now and then, but that's forgivable because every movie from the 70s was like that. Just go back and watch the first Halloween movie, which came out the same year as this. Sound effects were just not all that great for horror movies. But the remake did this movie justice.
Yes, it did, absolutely.
Yeah. This movie, I think, I'm not sure how everybody else feels about it, but Night of the Living Dead was groundbreaking because it was the first time that had been done. But this one is probably my favorite film out of the trilogy. Is it the same for you?
Yeah, for me as well. As well.
But I think why is that, Mike? Why do you think this one's your favorite out of the trilogy? I can tell you why it's mine, but go ahead, tell me.
Well, uh, I would say I don't know. I did not necessarily like Day of the Dead. Well, I liked it. I liked it. It was
Yeah.
just um, Day of the Dead. I did not really like the characters that much, and Night of the Living Dead. I just thought was I would have to rewatch it again. Nah, I just remember when I watched it was a very very long time ago. I think it was 15 maybe. I was
Mhm.
bored with it.
Yeah.
So that's probably I guess that is probably
I think for me, this movie, the characters are really likable. Like you said, like I really like the characters. Um,
yeah.
they kind of do more of a deep dive into the characters, who they are. You get to like the characters a lot before they die. And most of the characters are likable.
Mhm.
Um, the third movie, Day of the Dead, although it has the better gore and the better special effects, the characters are not likable at all, and the acting is very off for the third movie. There were some choices with the third movie that I didn't really think were great. Although it, like I said, it does have the better gore, it does have the better kills if you like that sort of thing. But it just wasn't very character driven, and this movie definitely is in a good way.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. Definitely when it comes to the effects, gore, and everything, Day of the Dead is better because if you look at the gore in here, you can see it's all fake. I mean, you can see that the blood is actually paint. You can
Yes,
see
it
that
is.
the
It's red
organs and the
paint
gore
straight from the store.
all, that, that it's all. Yeah, you can see that. So from that perspective, I would say yes. Day of the Dead is better, but when it comes to characters, plot, everything, I do just generally prefer this movie.
Yeah,
Even though, for me, it is a slow burn. I have to admit, no?
yeah,
And how should I say it? It's just like a lot of things we're going to bring up. It is if you watch it nowadays, it is a little bit silly, specifically the zombies. Because one thing I already noticed is okay, do the zombies usually when it comes to the makeup is pretty easy, is pretty simple. Was
yeah.
not a big deal. But what I also find a little bit, what kind of took me out is the zombies. Their hands are they never have makeup on it. Their hands look
Yes,
entirely normal,
yeah. I noticed
almost
that.
in every
You're right.
single scene. Now that is something that like that that really bothers me. It's one thing if it's actually in a fake theater, like like we do in Halloween, where people are not really going to look at your hands.
Right.
But here, that's just something I thought like it not been a big deal to put the zombie makeup on their hands as well.
Yeah, it definitely stuck out. That's one of the first things I noticed, and I don't think I noticed it the first time. There's also a couple of zombies, and I don't know if you caught this. I don't know if it's because they needed extras in the background or what, and they were just like, "Hey, you step in here," and they didn't put any makeup on them. But there's a few in here that don't even look dead. They're just
Yeah,
like normal people walking around, you know? And I was like, why did that
yeah. I
happen?
mean, I mean, I know they did the same thing in the remake too. A lot of the zombies in the remake didn't have makeup. They just brought people from the streets and gave them torn up clothes and covered them in
Yeah.
fake blood. A lot of it. But this is just like you say, there was a lot of people, a lot of zombies in this movie where you feel like they didn't even try to make them look like zombies. You know?
If anything, it
Yeah.
was probably just time constraints and budget. I mean, it feels like they had a pretty decent budget for this film. I didn't look it up, but out of the three movies, I
Yeah.
feel like this one had the higher budget because they literally had everything. They had a whole mall at their disposal. They had all these props that they could
Mhm.
break. They had a full gun store. They had a helicopter. They had a full fire department, a full police department. They it looks like they had everything at their disposal to make this thing believable. And I think because of that, the movie is actually pretty believable for a lot of reasons. And much more so than the third one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because the third one just takes place in a bunker. There's not a whole lot of props besides weapons and uniforms, and that's pretty much it. So this one obviously had the bigger budget. And at the time, the reception of the film was really good. like really good. This was a huge deal. It didn't make so much in the theaters, but it made a lot on video. And I think for that reason, even the two critics at the time who were the worst. Do you remember what are their names? Ebert and what's the other guy's name? You know who I'm talking about, right?
I don't remember, dude.
There's
No,
two film critics.
I have no idea.
Roger Ebert and another guy, but they were the guys that everybody watched in the 70s and 80s to figure out if a film was worth going to see. And those guys butchered every horror movie. They hated horror movies. They didn't want to see horror movies. Their opinion of horror movies was just trash. And they actually liked this one. And they were like, even though it's a horror movie, the story is great. The budget was good. It's believable. Great movie. And this was probably one of the only horror movies they ever liked.
Everybody hates to miss a sale at Penny's. You got just a glimpse there of the terrifying nature of the zombies because, frankly, on television, we can't show you how really violent and really bloody this film is. So I'm going to combine a recommendation with a warning. The recommendation is that Dawn of the Dead is one of the best and most original horror films I've ever seen. And the warning is, this is really extreme in its violence. It goes beyond what you may have seen before. It's for adults only. Proceed with caution.
I like the picture too, but I really don't think it's very terrifying. I think the zombies are a little more comical than anything else. There's a guy gets his head lopped off by a helicopter blade. I normally would shrink at something like that. In this film, it's done so broadly that I found it humorous.
How'd you like the intestines when they were disemboweled?
Roger, I looked. Normally, I would look away. I think the guy somehow does it in a comic way that makes you at least watch it.
I agree, too. The movie is some kind of a horror masterpiece. I just think there are some people who ought to be warned. It's violent. Might want to take along an air sickness bag.
I think what I enjoyed more than any of this that we've talked about, the violence, is the statement about shopping centers. I think they've sucked the life out of these places. They're enclosed malls. They're lifeless. Obviously, we got zombies walking around them. That's what George Romero has to say about American.
The reception of this film was really, really good. And for a zombie movie, especially at this time, pretty amazing. And it's not hard to see why. I mean, it's a good movie.
Well, it is. It is absolutely. It is a good movie. Considering, you know, I mean, if you people go and watch this movie, specifically for younger viewers, you have to consider this movie is more than 40 years old.
Yes.
So the zombies look silly. They look insanely silly. They move insanely silly. It's like this movie. I mean, if this movie didn't have blood or fake red paint as blood,
if it didn't have red paint
or gore in it, I mean, yeah, I do absolutely think you could have young kids watch this movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For me, there's nothing really scary about it. There are a few scenes I would say that are like a little bit very harsh. Still, not a movie kids should watch. It's just you have to see from the perspective that you're not a horror or a zombie fan if you don't know George R. Romero.
Yeah.
And it was just specifically these movies that started the entire zombie franchise or zombie genre as we know today. Because unlike werewolves or vampires, where you occasionally have good movies coming up, zombie has literally became an entire genre within horror itself. You know, where you can actually refer to it as a genre.
It's a genre,
a subgenre. And Night of the Dead is actually the movie that started it. That was together the project from George R. Romero and Jack Russo. His last name was
Jack Russo. Yep.
Jack Russo. Exactly. And that's basically where these two guys were the ones that actually launched the entire zombie genre. It was clearly George R. Romero's side that stayed dominant within the zombie genre to nowadays. Jack Russo's side less so, due to the fact that just after Night of the Living Dead was made, that these two directors had strong differences in how they wanted to continue the franchise. And somehow neither of them, I said that, secured the rights, so they basically both went on with doing their own sequels. That led to the Dead, series, universe from
Yeah.
George R. Romero. What all other zombie movies, shows, video games, whatever, probably you can say derived from. And then there is the Jack Russo side, The Return of the Living. That, by the way, there were like 5 movies or whatever. That, by the way, were quite successful, but nowhere near as impactful as the Dead series, or as a lot of people know it in Europe as Zombie, because the Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead in a lot of European countries were released under the title Zombie 1, 2, and 3, but just Zombie with an I instead of an E at the end.
Right.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you look at the split too, and I don't think that the split for the movies really makes a whole lot of difference in like fun or how good the movie is. I don't think when the split happened, any of the movies are bad. I wouldn't call any of the split between these two movies or these two like genres, if you want to call it, bad. Like the Romero versions are a little bit more serious, but the Russo versions have an element of comedy in them that's also fun. And for like my headcanon, it's all the same universe. Like for me, I don't care. Like it fits just as much as Evil Dead fits with Evil Dead 2, you know? I don't care. No. Both these guys were visionaries, and they did a good job with what they had.
Yeah.
You know?
They did, but I would not agree on that point. The Return of the Living Dead split with the Dead do not work, specifically due to the fact that the zombies were created. Well, in Russo's version, they're created by this chemical. What's it called? Something with tracks? No,
and I can't remember what the chemical was, but
it's caused by a chemical. And with George R. Romero, it's more a supernatural thing. It's never really clearly defined what it was caused by. Or I might have to look that one up though. But however, you can also see that
it's simple. You're actually spot on with it. So with Romero, it's a biblical thing, and always was. Like,
yeah.
So, and that line that you hear in this movie is exactly what it is. It's a part of the Bible. It's a verse from the Bible that says, "When hell is full, the dead shall walk the earth." That's what's supposed to happen after the reckoning, where all the good people go to heaven and the other ones stay on earth. And when the split happened, it became a like a toxic waste chemical virus with the Russo versions, right?
Yeah.
And so you're right. For that matter, that reason alone, they really don't fit together. But I'm able to ignore that and just say it's a full series of zombie stuff, because it doesn't necessarily have to fit together. Because it is kind of the same type of film with a little bit more humor from Russo. So if you watch them all together and you want to consider that part of canon, it actually works. You just have to ignore what the virus is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We could go through exactly what this is and how it works and how this movie is different than the other ones, but we're doing this one as a standalone, just like we do every movie. And I think on the merits alone for this film, how it's filmed, the acting, the gore, the special effects, can't do it without Tom Savini. Tom Savini is the guy that links all of these movies together for all the zombie movies. He had his hand in every single one of them, whether it's from Russo or Romero. That guy is the reason why these movies work. The gore, the special effects, everything. Yeah. And then, of course, he acts in every single one of them as well.
Yeah, that is true. No.
But yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if he acts in...
No, what?
I'm not sure if he acts in Day of the Dead. I don't remember him in that.
I'm going to have to look it up, but I think he does. I think he's a member of the military that you only see for a second. And I think it's at the beginning where you see the gates outside and there's people, or the fences, and you see the people fighting the zombies that are outside the fences, outside the bunker. Yeah. I think he's in that scene, but I'm not completely sure. Which one is that, Mike?
This is Freddy. Freddy's back.
Okay. Freddy's back. All right.
No?
Wrong movie, Freddy. Wrong movie. Okay. So we can get into the film because it depending on what version of this film you've seen. I think for the younger viewers or like people that are just now getting into this stuff, if you want to go find a version of this that you can watch online, it's going to be the 2-hour, 30-minute version, because that is the one that
Yeah.
seems to
Yeah.
be on all
Yeah.
streaming platforms and stuff like that. And it is a very long-winded movie. That's not necessarily a
That's
bad
true.
thing.
That is true.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a rough watch, the long-winded version, but if you get the theatrical cut, it's definitely a movie that flows better. And that's what I wasn't expecting, because when I originally saw this, I was a kid and it was the theatrical version, and it didn't seem like it drug, you know? But this version of the movie definitely drags a little bit. Like, you see every single interaction with everyone. So we'll try to be good about not hitting everything here and just sticking to plot points, because otherwise it's going to be a very, very long episode.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to make it that. I mean, before that, we still have to do the ritual of name butchering.
The ritual of name butchering. All right, cool.
And before we do that,
just
in
drank
the movie,
all my whiskey, so I don't have any shots. But I mean, it's probably like 8 shots, so hopefully you butcher it.
but you know, you guys.
Yeah, you guys have to drink.
If you like our podcast, please don't forget to leave a like on this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I already have it. The cast up here. It starts with Devin Emge, who plays Steven.
Yep.
Tom Savini, who plays one of the motorcycle guys. Ken Foray, who plays Peter. Now, Ken Foray is actually, he's the main protagonist of this movie, and he is also the guy that plays the priest as a cameo in the remake. No?
Right.
Then you have Galen Ross, who plays Francine. Scott Reiniger, who plays Roger. Beyond that, everybody else is so far just, like, what's it called? Statisten? Like, why can't I never think of the English word?
I mean, well, okay, so in German it would be statistic, but in English that wouldn't really work. It would just be, you'd say, everybody else is just cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder. Cannon fodder. Okay, cannon
Everybody
fodder.
else
Okay,
is just
that's
cannon
good.
fodder, because
Okay,
they're either
cannon
zombies or they get killed.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, the remake one, starts out with a montage of zombie events happening and the song from Johnny Cash. This movie starts out with in a movie studio, basically. Now, so this is like, I think shortly, a few days, maybe a few months after the events in Night of the Living Dead. Now, this entire zombie thing is now starting to really take off. The epidemic is now happening. And you have like these people at this TV station reporting about it, and they're interviewing this one guy that is like trying to explain to the reporter what is actually happening with the zombies, what they are, and the guy is not taking it because like, no, that can't be, and blah blah blah, it has to be something else. Also explaining to actually what these creatures are. This is actually what the remake does not do. This one basically just gives you down in the first scene a rundown on basically what the zombies are. You have like multiple people in this TV station talking about it. Like the two guys that are doing the interview, and all of the cast are there trying to uphold the TV show. Just at this point, I just come up with one thought. Why are you people actually even considering going to work in this situation?
Yeah, that was one of the things that I thought too. But at the same time, these guys are trying. One, they're held up here and they can't really go anywhere, right? And then, secondly, they're trying to do the best they can to inform the public. But the problem with informing the public is everybody has an opinion about what this is, right? And there seems to be, at least from this scene, you get this idea of this moral conundrum that people are having with, should we shoot these things in the head? Should we kill them? Are these even people anymore, right? And so they have one guy on the screen who's like, you have to understand these are not your family members anymore. These are creatures, and every one of them that dies becomes one of these things. So you have two choices. You eliminate the brain or you sever the head from the rest of the body, and that's how you keep it from happening. And there's a bunch of people in the studio that are like, no, that's wrong. You can't do that. We're not mutilating dead bodies, blah, blah, blah. So there's this huge moral conundrum going on, and that causes all this ruckus in the studio, right?
Yeah, that's basically what goes down now in the first scene. But still, just something that really bothers me is like all these people are walking around doing their job. I mean, if this was me, the first thing I would say is I would look at my boss, tell them to go fuck themselves, and then I would get out of there.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, same. I'd be doing everything I could for myself and my family at that point.
But of course, I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse. Fuck work.
Yeah.
But
Dude,
yeah,
I agree.
however, basically, then you have like we already come across one of the main protagonists in this movie. I think it was Francine with her boyfriend or husband. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, they never really clarify that.
Comes up to her like, "Hey, we should just get out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh no, but we can't." And he's like, "No, fuck it, everything's going to shit. We're getting out of here. I have a helicopter on the roof."
Yeah.
So obviously she agrees to it because she's not an idiot, and they both get into the hospital and then take off. Then it cuts to, I think, or maybe not before that. Then it cuts to the other scene. This is like scene where you see actually the shit going down. You have like multiple. I'm not sure if they're soldiers or police officers. I think soldiers is what they're supposed to be.
It's a little bit of everything.
That are basically in the middle of a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically
a little
everything.
bit of a cop, soldier.
The fire department out there, they've got U.S. Army soldiers. They've got what looks like kind of like a SWAT force that's assembled from people who probably were in the military that are clearing out buildings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, then you have, like, because you have, like, these people, we're just going to call them SWAT, that are basically, like, killing zombies, rounding survivors up, basically trying to get, more or less everybody to safety, because now the zombie apocalypse is full-on swing in the middle of the city. And then you have, like, other people that are, like, shooting at them or whatever.
Yeah.
Until you have
this is total chaos,
then it cuts to basically just full chaos. It's full total chaos. Then it cuts back to the other scenes, in the house where you have like these people trying to get out of the building or trying to get to safety. You have zombies coming in or whatever. Then you have like the grenade. They have like gas grenades they're throwing into the hallway for some reason. Somebody throwing it there for some reason, not really know.
That's why I say, Mike, I think the guys that are in the black fatigues, those guys are what you would call paramilitary. They're like assembled from the civilian populace, and they have a basic weapons training and a basic understanding of how search and seizure works, and for whatever reason they send those guys in instead of the soldiers, because if they'd have sent the soldiers in, things would have gone very differently. But it's obvious that some of these guys on this team don't know what they're doing. And one guy he kind of loses it and starts like shooting at civilians and stuff too, which tells me these people are not trained. Like they have a little bit of know-how, but for the most part, they're just people they stuck in uniforms. Why they sent them in, I have no idea.
Yeah, more. Who knows? Also could be that they don't have much people left. They have like the silly zombies that coming through the hallway. You have like these wannabe soldiers trying to get everybody to safety. The one was like, "Oh no, I have to get to my husband," and she hugs her husband, not knowing that obviously that her husband is now a zombie. And
the guy was blue. The guy's blue. He's obviously dead,
I mean,
oh baby, she earned that death, certainly. It's the first thing I thought is this guy, when you see him, is probably one of the best looking zombies in the movie, because the makeup on this guy looks like he's dead and has been dead for a little while. And so he's the most obvious zombie in this film. And yet she runs up and hugs him like he's completely okay. And is surprised when she gets bit in the neck. Whatever, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, this is basically the chaos that just you see playing out here. A
Yeah.
lot of cool scenes, though. A lot of the wannabe soldiers, shooting zombies. A guy just kicking it up the door, shooting a zombie. The head exploding.
Yeah.
Or whatever. No.
Great scene. Did you, when you saw that first, that guy shot that guy in the head and his head exploded, did you think that was possibly a civilian at first? Because I did. At least the version I saw. I was like, did that guy just shoot a civilian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he just kicked down the door and started shooting to whatever was there.
Yeah.
However, it's a cool scene in the movie, though, even though a lot of these people are just acting like complete fucking morons.
I like this scene for a lot of reasons, and I think it's because this is exactly how this would go down. You know what I mean? You're entering an apartment building full of people that are not completely sure what the virus is. They don't really know what zombies are, and basically now, what do you call it? Martial law is now in effect. So the military and the police force are having to go around and round people up. This is exactly how this scene would have played out if you went into an apartment building. It's really, really well done. Just from a military perspective, this is exactly how this would have gone down. It's really sad.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
However, the entire chaos ends with we have what's this guy? I think I'm not sure what the character's name is. It's one of the wannabe soldiers. Roger, I think. Yeah, Roger is his name. Roger watches one of his colleagues or friends shoot themselves. Then he runs down, I think, into a room also in the basement and has to throw up. This is where we have, I think he is Peter. Am I just going to look and see? No, that's not the movie I want. No.
I also have
yes,
a problem
exactly.
remembering the name. Peter? Okay, so Peter is what, the black guy?
Yeah, Peter is the black guy. This is where he comes in and they start to have a short discussion on what exactly are they going to do. And just talking about the entire shit that now more or less is going down.
Right.
Then until somebody knocks on the door, then the priest comes in and the priest is like, I'm also not sure what they said, but the priest is like something on the line like, "Oh, great that you guys are helping us," and whatever.
Yeah.
Then the priest just walks up and is gone.
The priest is he
didn't.
He didn't belong to the apartment complex. He came there because he knew there were a bunch of dead there, and he felt like his job was to give every dead body its last rites. Because he knew that the military was going to exterminate the zombies and probably whatever dead bodies were left by shooting them in the head, right? And so he wanted to give last rites to everyone. And this is where he explains to them what's happening in a biblical sense. And that's why he's here in this scene. And so he gives them the spiel about, when hell's full, the dead will walk the earth, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, I've given all the dead bodies their last rites so you guys can do whatever you want to do. And then he goes on his merry way. But it's still a cool scene.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just for me. To me, this scene just feels entirely random, dude. Yeah, like this priest come in, say something about religious mumbo jumbo stuff, and then he fucks off in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. I just thought this scene specifically just felt super random. Super. After that, it cuts back to the other wannabe soldiers. They set up this barricade in the house that the zombies tear down. All of the other zombies come in and then just basically slaughter these wannabe soldiers. Then Pete and Roger go out to other area of the house and see where they put in the dead bodies. They just put all of the dead bodies onto one spot. At the time, not knowing that they would all come back as zombies. Now, this is what Peter and Roger see. They see all of the dead bodies they piled up there now come back as zombies and basically eating what other people, I guess, halfway alive or whatever, or that are not fully turned.
Right.
Yeah. And this is also a scene. If you look at these zombies, it's like the acting of the zombies here it's just silly the way they're acting. They're like they're not really tearing into their victims or anything. You have like zombies sitting down in normal positions, basically bitch slapping each other over who gets to eat what human arm or whatever.
You notice that it's like a food frenzy fight between zombies. It's pretty cool, actually. I think this is the only film we actually see that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, still. I mean, it's a great movie. It's just like a lot of the zombie act in this movie is insanely silly to the point where it's comical. But
Yeah.
it still is a good movie. However, Pete and Roger do the most obvious and logical thing. They just shoot all of them.
Yeah. Which you would do, yeah.
Then, what actually everybody would do. Then after that, you have one of the windows is brought coming down. I think, if I remember, I have the movie right in front of me now, but I think we're a little bit too fast. Yeah. Let me go.
It's okay. There's so much shit that happens in this movie, dude. You won't be able to cover it all. It's. I can't remember exactly what happens. I think some of the soldiers that are in the building as well have opened a door that they shouldn't have opened, and zombies just start pouring in. Is what happens.
Now that's the point where we just came when the zombies break down the barricade. Nah?
Yeah.
However, when Pete and Roger shoot all these zombies in this room, there's a window behind it that's opened up by another soldier. They have a short discussion on what's going on. Nah? And then for some reason, the helicopter decides to land on exactly the same building.
Yes, which didn't make sense to me either, but that's what happens. Yeah,
for some,
it seems like
I really do not
want to land, right?
Yeah, in the middle of a zombie-infested city.
Yeah,
makes sense. Makes total sense. No? However, this is, I think, Pete and Roger come across Stephen and Francine.
Yeah.
Shortly before the entire shit show went down in the house, Roger and Peter had this discussion on what are they going to do, because Roger was like, hey, maybe I should just fuck off. Or we should just fuck off. I mean, it would be cowardly, but what else are we going to do? In the aftermath of all that going down, Pete, Roger, Stephen, and Francine meet, and of course, they decide to hop in the helicopter and then take off.
Right.
And just hope to find somewhere safe. They, of course, have a short discussion on where are they going to go. Once we have to go to this city or this city. Roger's like, no, we can't go to a city at all. We have to stay on the countryside. What in a zombie apocalypse makes the most sense. Less people means automatically less zombies.
Right.
Steven now is totally tired and keeps on falling asleep. Peter gives him a little bit of water that he splashes in his face. Then obviously they notice at one point they don't have much more gas, and then that they have to land somewhere to get gas. So they land at a gas station for airplanes and helicopters. I don't know, but they see like. They're flying out over everything going on. They see zombies everywhere. They see cars driving. And it's like you have like a kind of discussion you have like in the beginning one where they're on the top of the mall, like, what are all of these creatures doing? Right. And you're like, yeah, who knows? Maybe this they remember from their lives. But then it cuts back to the scene you actually brought up. This is the scene with the rednecks. with all the rednecks having a great time. This is just like also very
fantastic scene.
Amusing, but because you have like the rednecks are running around as if it's a normal Tuesday. They're having a party. Everybody's got their shotguns out. They're drinking beer, having coffee, and are just shooting zombies. And they're all having a blast doing it. Yes.
Yeah.
Passed about an hour ago.
Jesus, it's everywhere.
We're still pretty close to Johnstown. Those rednecks are probably enjoying the whole thing.
Dude, it's great, and like I said, with this part of the movie, this is exactly how this would go down. And me and Mike had a discussion before we started filming about we're not really sure, as slow as these zombies are and their capabilities of being a threat is not so high that civilization would have fallen because of these slow, shambling zombies. Because the United States is full of these groups of people that, rednecks basically, that hoard guns and hoard weapons and hoard ammunition, and they're just fucking waiting for a day like this to happen. And when that day comes and these guys come out of the woodwork, these zombies and this whole apocalypse would have been done day 2. Just because these guys would have been going around shooting these things and hunting them like they were deer for about 2 days, and then the whole thing would have been over.
Yeah. This is also the thing, that I want to... That it is a great scene, by the way, but also something that, I always, again, like to bring up when it comes to zombie movies and you have slow zombies. Specifically, if the zombie movie is a apocalyptic event. That's not always the case in zombie movies, no? But I just this is even that's one big criticism I always brought up towards The Walking Dead. I did not see these slow zombies destroying society the way they did. Because very, very, very easily, very fast, people notice how to kill them.
Yeah.
You have military, you have the government, and all of that. They would have easily been able to take care of these things. And the same goes for here. Now, these zombies are even slower than the zombies in The Walking Dead.
Yes,
that in itself is an achievement.
Yeah,
because The Walking Dead had actually one of the slowest zombies in the zombie film.
Yeah.
But what came with The Walking Dead? The Walking Dead, you notice when they normally walk, they walk slow. But the more they got after you, they started to walk faster to the point where they walked a normal pace. But here it's like they just stay slow all the time.
Yeah.
They barely, I don't know. This is like, if you walk in a normal pace, you would be like running compared to zombies. No?
Oh, yeah. These things are the definition of shamblers.
Yeah.
Like they're all very stiff. They're like stiff as a board, and they kind of just do this. So if you need to get away from this thing or dodge one, you just have to like move normally. It's not. They're only a threat if there are a bunch of them in one spot and they've got you cornered. Otherwise, you're good, dude.
Yeah, really.
And really, that's the only thing you have to avoid. And in this movie, there are instances where these people let that happen, where they let themselves get cornered, and that's when bad things happen. But if you avoid that, you're good, man. Like, this would not be an issue at all.
No, not at all. Specifically, of course, if you have like military that have guns and they all know how to take these things out, this is like, martial law would have been declared. The survivors would have all been put up into a camp or an area where it's safe, and then the soldiers would be running around blasting these things, or they would, I don't know, use napalm or something to blow these things up.
Yeah.
But however, but
but
when they lived, it cuts back then to the other group, like the Fantastic Four, I'm going to call them in this movie.
That's great. The Fantastic Four. Cool. Okay, that's what we're saying the rest of the podcast episode, dude. Fantastic Four.
What? I just actually, dude, I just actually noticed now. I realize this now, comparing the characters. When you look at the characters, they are actually the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they are, minus the powers. Yeah.
You have like two that are that are in a relationship. Then you have the other two guys. One guy is a impulsive frat boy that's blonde.
Yes.
And the other guy is a cool, chill dude that is wise. Dude, these are literally the same character type as the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
I just
you're
realized
absolutely
that.
right. So are we going to call them the thing? Are we going to call them by their names? Are we gonna call him the Human Torch? And
yeah, we're gonna call him. Yes.
Okay.
The Human Torch, Thing. What is it called? Mr. Fantastic and
Mr.
Invisible.
Fantastic.
It cuts back to the Fantastic Four. They stopped at this gas station trying to fill up the helicopter. And then they basically check out the area a little bit. Mr. Fantastic and Mrs. Invisible.
Yeah.
They come across a zombie. Then the Thing comes into another room. This is like, I would say, the only hard watch of the movie because he has two kid zombies attacking him that he has to shoot.
Yeah. I had a question about this part, Mike. This
Mm-hmm.
kid's part, was this in the original theatrical cut? Because I don't remember it.
Can't tell you. I do not know. I can't tell you if this one was
may
in
have
the
been
original
cut from the original movie for the theaters because it's kids. Because I don't remember it. It is a hard scene to watch just because of that.
Probably. Yeah, it is. You can also see in the Thing's face that this really bothers him, obviously, as it would, anyone.
Yeah.
After that, we fill up the helicopter and then take off again. Then, after that, it shows them landing on the roof of this mall. Right. And this is where the rest of the movie, more or less, is going to take place. But this is also a scene that is kind of, in my opinion, a little bit odd because they smash through from one of the rooftop windows, get into the mall, and then they decide to basically just go in and walk around the mall and check everything out. I mean, not really securing anything at this moment. No. They're just, the first, I would say, 10, 15 minutes where they're in this mall, I never really could actually feel, what are these guys trying to do there? They're just mindlessly running around. By the way, the Thing and the Human Torch tell Mr. Fantastic and Mrs. Invisible to stay there, and then they just go running through the mall. And then the Human Torch is like, oh, yeah, great, and whatever. And however, you have like this big thing going on. They're checking out the mall, checking to see if zombies are there or whatever. They try to just chill for a few minutes because you have like this one area in the mall where, everything is okay. They're like, okay, let's just chill here for a minute.
I mean, I can give these guys a little bit of credit because I think from what we've seen, these guys have been awake for a few days. They're obviously really fucking tired, and not really thinking right at this time. So, I mean, I can chalk every bad decision up to lack of sleep because every time you do see them and they're in a resting position, they're asleep because they're fucking dead tired. And it's believable. But at the same time, because one of these guys actually has some training. The Thing, we don't really know his background, but this guy seems like a top military guy. Like, he has some serious training. And I would expect him to be like, okay, first thing we need to do is secure the area. Then we need to see where these things are. Then we need to block each other off. And then we can rest. But he doesn't do that. He's just as out of it as the rest of them are.
Yeah. It is kind of a little bit funny, but it's just like, as you said, that's what they obviously eventually do. But it takes a while until you get there. And this is just one of the things that why this movie specifically drags.
Yeah.
Because there are just a lot of scenes in this movie that are absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah.
The entire thing with the Thing and the Human Torch, checking out this mall, checking out what's all there, and that kind of thing. That is like, it's absolutely unnecessary.
And
there are multiple discussions that are going on here, but also nobody needs it. Yes, exactly. 30 minutes of the movie that you can sum up into like a minute or whatever. The only important thing that happens here is that this is where they actually find the keys to the mall. Yeah, that is the thing, the only meaningful thing that happens here. And this is like, and pretty much everything that now happens in the mall is like, I think, God, for a very long time before shit actually goes down. But eventually they decide to, just like you say, check out, see how much zombies are there, secure everything off, and just clear all the zombies out. One thing I like is funny, because there's a reoccurring zombie that looks like Gandhi in this movie that I think is hilarious.
The Harry Kushner. He's a Harry Kushner. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is also one of the slowest and non-threatening zombies in the entire fucking film.
Yeah.
He's just
and
like,
also, what's the funny thing is, you see a zombies using the automatic stairs. You see a zombie in the wishing well picking up coins.
Yeah.
And this is where Mrs. Invisible is like, why are they doing this? And the thing is like, yeah, well, this is a place where they probably remember where they have a few of their memories left. They remember that they were happy here, and these are just things that the zombies are doing naturally. Okay, but here also comes the funny scenes where you say, like, half the time they're not shooting the zombies. Half the time, this you can specifically see with the Human Torch and the Thing. Half the time they are just running in between the zombies and punching and kicking them in the face.
Yes, and I love it. I'm here for it. It's so great. I'm here for it because
it is. It's funny.
I mean, at this point, they don't really know how much ammunition they have. They're not aware there's a gun shop where they can fill back up on ammunition. So if you can get by them and just punch them in the face to get them away, that's the best thing to do. And it's like the zombie kung fu extravaganza half this film because they're just running around kicking and punching zombies in the face, and it's hilarious. But true to life, this is exactly what would happen, you know? I would just be worried. The only thing I would be worried about is because we're not really completely sure what this is yet. I would be worried about being infected by hitting one of them in the teeth and cutting open your hand and actually getting saliva in your hand and maybe...
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason I wouldn't do that. But otherwise, if you knew it was okay, I would just be walking around punching zombies in the face all day, dude. Why not?
Yeah, of course, obviously. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how it is. This is also not in the Dead series. It's also not like in The Walking Dead, more or less, that everybody that dies comes back. Huh?
Yeah.
You specifically had to have been bitten by one of those.
Right.
One of the zombies to become one.
Right.
And if you just die, then you're dead. Then comes also a great scene I love, by the way, is how they actually clear them all out. They decide to, of course, with trucks, to put trucks in front of all of the entrances, close them off, and then rally all the zombies towards one point. They get in a car that's for some reason still in the mall, and then they're driving around in this car throughout the mall all the time.
Which is smart. It's very smart. I mean, this is what I would have done. And in America at the time, they used to sell cars in the mall. So they would have cars in the mall on display. And of course, they had gas in them because they had to drive them in. So as long as you had the keys, these things are drivable. So it's a brilliant idea. I mean, it's what I would have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, but the funny thing is, how should I say it? I think Steven decides to take a hop with the helicopter over the mall.
Yeah.
I mean, while the Human Torch decide to put all of the trucks in place or whatever. So they have to go out there and then, get the trucks ready.
Right.
But shortly before they just want to clear out the mall, this is where Mrs. Invisible says, like, I'm not going to be left back again. The next time you guys want to do something like this, take me with. I'm not going to be your housemaiden, I think, or something like that, what she says.
Yeah, you're like housemaid.
Yeah. However, and also, I want to know how to fly the helicopter. And she says that to Steve, that he's supposed to teach her. And I mean, she brings up an absolutely fantastic point that somebody beyond Steven has to be able to fly the helicopter.
Yeah.
What?
But I think before this part happens, isn't this where we realize that she's pregnant?
That is also something I wanted to bring up because I was not sure at what point it's mentioned that she's pregnant.
That's why I didn't
don't
bring
remember
it up,
that.
but it's right before this. So they're all kind of sitting around and talking, and they think she's asleep, right? And they're talking about wanting to get in the trucks and get in the helicopter and go pick up supplies and block the entrances. And the Thing notices that the woman is acting a certain way. So he says, "Hey, she's pregnant, isn't she?" And he says, "Yes." And he says, "Do you want to keep it or do you want to abort it?" And he, Flyboy doesn't give an answer. He just kind of is quiet because he's not sure if his girlfriend or wife is listening, right? And so he doesn't give an answer. And that's when she realizes that every one of them knows that she's pregnant. And that's why she starts to kind of enforce like her existence on them. She says, "Hey, I don't want to be treated like different than any of you guys would treat each other just because I'm pregnant. I'm not going to get in your way. I'm not going to be a burden, but I do want to know how to fly that helicopter because if something happens to you guys, I need to know how to get us out of here." And that's why that whole conversation comes up. And dude, good for her because I mean, she's absolutely right. Every last one of them should know how to fly that thing,
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But however, they agree, and it doesn't happen till later until Steven starts to show her how to fly the thing.
Right.
And this is just like this is a scene in the movie that is, I would say, insanely dragging because you have so much things happen before anything coming. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, if I look at now where the movie is, it's like we're already 40 minutes in and they still have not cleared out the mall yet. And it's just hard because this movie goes for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But could easily with everything happening, it could be only an hour.
Yeah. I don't know why that is. And I this might be kind of a discussion that we could ask people who watch the episode to write in the comments because I have a very hazy memory of the theatrical cut. And I would like to know how much of this was cut, because it does drag and it seems nonsensical to put you through every little bit of this,
Yeah. Just write in the comments what you think. Do you think that specifically this part of the movie is dragging because they show everything into every small detail? They show how every single one of these characters interacts with multiple zombies, what they're all doing in this mall, until eventually they get cornered up in this one store by the zombies, and then
it completely dragged. I wasn't a big fan of The Walking Dead, but this is kind of what The Walking Dead did, and they could do it because they had multiple seasons and episodes to do it. So you got to see the interactions between the people. You got to see kind of the world building, all that stuff. They tried to do that in this movie when they didn't have the time to do it. And so the time between when something crazy happens and then the next crazy thing happens, there's almost an hour that goes by, and there's really nothing to talk about. And that's sad.
It is sad. The movie had to be like zombie slaughtering all the time. You can put like in ways how characters can have discussions, interact. You can do world building. You brought up The Walking Dead, prime example of that. The thing is that The Walking Dead had going for it was just simply the characters and the character development themselves.
Right.
They had a large story going on with this group beyond the zombie apocalypse thing. And that is what I think that this movie is kind of not doing right, because you have like the Fantastic Four in the mall now, and the basic thing happening now is they're in this mall. So it's like there's nothing essential happening in the story. Yeah. I mean, okay, occasion then I would say let's just cut up to
dude,
let's
nothing
speed it up.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to jump like multiple scenes now.
That's fine. I knew it was going to happen when I saw this version of it anyway, because it literally just drags on and on and on. But I will say this. I will say this in the defense of this movie. Even though it drags, when things do happen and the story starts to pick up, the payoff is worth it. Because when the payoff happens and the scene happens, you don't feel bad about having to go through all that character development and stuff, because you care more about the characters when something happens to them, right? Because we have a scene now where everybody has decided to do something about the situation, and we lose a character, and you feel it. The emotional weight of it, you feel it. You know?
Yeah, we lose Roger. But the funny thing is also, what is also mind blowing is they put up this plan how they're going to clean up the mall. They go through the blueprints of the mall, and then they show them actually go executing the plan, and that into every single detail.
Yes, they do.
Okay. However, then you see the scene, of course, where the Thing and the Human Torch are putting the trucks in place.
Yep.
The Human Torch is acting like a complete fucking crazy ass asshole until the Thing says, like, "Yeah, you're playing with my life too," whatever. Oh, then he snaps out of it.
He's a dumbass because he brought a bag with him with supplies that he needs and that all of them need. Which my question is, why would you bring the bag with you that everybody needs on a trip where you might lose it? And then you forget about that bag, which is the most important thing that you own, and make everybody have to go back for it. It doesn't make any sense. But he took the bag with him anyway, and it has everything in it, including the keys for the mall. That's why that bag is so important.
Yeah.
Stupid. But whatever.
Yeah, it's stupid. But however, in the end, the Human Torch and the Thing managed to get the trucks in place so that the entrances to the mall are secured. But in the process, the Human Torch gets bit. And I think this is also at this point, they are not all fully aware if he's going to turn or not. But they get everything in place. Then they take the car, drive over zombies in the mall.
Which is a great scene.
Great scene. You know, after they secure the mall, the next basic scene or plot point that happens is now that the Human Torch was bit. And you see him going into fever, having fever dreams, getting worse, and they're tending to him, trying to, make everything as comfortable for him as possible. But you also know at this point, they all also realize that he's going to turn. And in one of his last fever dreams, he walks to the Human Torch and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to try not to come back. I promise you, I will try not to come back."
Yeah, this is a cool scene. I like this. The addition of this is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, this is also, this is a thing where you think, like, what I actually like is how they really take basic events from the original and how they actually did it in the remake. Because specifically, the scene where the Human Torch gets killed, where he dies and comes back, you have like the Thing sitting there waiting in front of him with a gun, drinking a bottle of whiskey, and whenever the Human Torch comes back, the Thing instantly shoots him.
Yeah.
Same thing happens in the remake. If you want to know, just go back and watch our episode.
There it is again.
On that one. And also the next thing. Yeah, there it is again. Yeah. And also the next thing is that in the remake, they also had a pregnant woman, as they did this one, for example.
Yes.
But it said in the remake, obviously, the pregnant woman dies because he gets bit. And also another thing is just the line that is brought from the human, the Thing, with when hell is full, the dead will walk the earth. That cameo alone, I think, is brilliantly done. And obviously, up until I watched this movie just right now, or I think watched yesterday, I did not even realize that cameo either.
I know. Also, I'm going to have to go back and watch that part of the film just because of that, because I did not know that was him. But that's cool.
No,
that's a cool
cameo. But also, to our viewers, we're watching this. What interests me, how many of you knew that the protagonist of the original had a cameo in the remake? If you guys knew, please write in the comments. That would also be something that would be, I would find super interesting. Huh?
Yeah.
Then there comes the montage of the movie. This montage also happens in the remake, but the remake is way more interesting than this one. However, you have because now at this point, the Human Torch is now dead, so only the other three of the Fantastic Four are still out. So we could actually rename them now to the Three Stooges, but we can
The
also
Three
leave it
Stooges. I'm good with
Four.
the Three Stooges. Yeah.
Okay, so now the Fantastic Four is now the Three Stooges. So we have a montage of the Three Stooges, well, basically doing their thing in this mall, going out their day. You have like the guy and the girl, they have a date, and one of the protagonists, the Peter, I think his name is Peter exactly.
Peter,
he's looking for them, being the waiter or whatever. And then basically after this montage, you see what's his name? Steven finally teaching Francine how to fly the helicopter. So he's going out this thing, explaining everything to her. She eventually gets the hang of it, knows how to fly it, and then lands. But at the same time, this is also where things start to go downhill, because you can see that from two other people, you see watching them through binoculars, and then you can see like two people having a discussion. This is where Savini comes into the movie with his character. And then they're talking about like, oh yeah, these guys are loaded, they have everything. We're going to attack them tonight.
Which was bound to happen. This is a part of the film that I get it when people get complacent and they're in one spot, they start not to care about safety issues and stuff like that, because it just happens. You get comfortable and you don't think about things. The last thing you would want to do while this is going on is get in the chopper, fly away from this place, and fly back, because automatically anybody else that's around that area is going to notice them. And it's going to bring attention. They think you have supplies, which at this point, in this epidemic, people would be scrounging for supplies. So they are automatically going to come after you.
Yeah, not automatically, but of course people are going to think they have supplies because they're in the middle of a fucking mall.
Yeah, right. That would have been the first place I went, which would have not made it a safe place.
Yeah, no, not at all. But how should I say it? In general, in their situation, this is one thing I see that in the original, in my opinion, does a million times better than the remake.
Yes.
In the remake, for them eventually leaving the mall. In the original, it makes sense why they got attacked and they had to leave the mall.
Right.
But in the remake, this is like it's not for people. This is in the remake, it's an entire group. They have weapons. They have everything they need. They have electricity for the time being. They have food. They have water. This is all things where I would be like, these people have no reason to leave this mall,
right?
Compared to this, but this is also here. It's obviously why they have to leave. They have the helicopter. I'm not sure if I were these people. No, I'm not sure I would have stayed in this mall, specifically if I had the fucking helicopter. It's kind of difficult, but what I also would have done is would at least, put supplies into this helicopter. Weapons, food, water, medical supplies, everything that'll fit in. And I'm pretty sure you can fit a lot into this helicopter.
Oh yeah, this is basically a Coast Guard helicopter, so it's got a lot of room.
Yeah. So so it's just like they could fit enough in this helicopter that would last them for who knows how long.
Yeah.
And I would have just, maybe stayed there for a while to chill out, to what's it called, recover from everything happening.
Yeah.
Build
Right.
this fucking helicopter with everything I can find, or whatever they need. And I would basically just try to get to another airport where you can find gas in
Yeah.
the helicopter or something. Where probably.
Yeah, or
something like
the other option would have also been fill the helicopter with as many supplies from the mall as you can, and then fly to the closest hospital, because every hospital in the United States, every big hospital has a helicopter landing pad on the top of it. I would have gathered as many supplies as I could and flown to the nearest hospital, and then kept jumping hospitals, and then stopped at an airport to refuel. There's a 1,000 different ways they could have done this other than the way that they did it. And I don't understand why they did it the way that they did it, but it's plot armor for the movie, so whatever,
Yeah, okay, but I mean, but even if these are not necessarily people that are used to this situation. I mean, even Steven, he can fly a helicopter, but I don't know. I think these people just had the feeling they were safe at this mall, so we'll see. This biker group tries to contact them and say, like, oh yeah, hey guys, listen, or whatever, but they just don't answer. And this is where the bikers get pissed off because they know they're there. It's like, hey, we're going to take down the place anyway. We're going to come in. And obviously, where they can, how are they going to manage to do this? And then the thing is that is like they can just move trucks. They're going to figure that out. So also they're not sure how much of them are coming up. See like an entire group of cars coming up. You're like, okay, these are quite a few people. Okay, this is a scene that kind of is a little bothering. It also makes me kind of like, shake my head at Steven because Peter brings up a brilliant idea. He says once they come in here, they're going to bring all the zombies in there with them. And basically all we have to do is just wait. Yeah. They'll be so busy with the zombies, we can just fill up the helicopter with supplies and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And I mean, for some reason, Steven decides to just like, no, because in this mall is ours. And he has to defend it. There's something we are going to do that we already talked about, Matt, probably at the end of this year on the podcast. And Steven, for this reason, is coming on my list. Because this is like, they could have all made it out perfectly fine if Steven would have just not to be a total fucking idiot at this point.
I agree.
Because
I agree. There were a million better ways that he could have done this instead of acting like a territorial asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Because these guys are going to bring all the zombies in with them. They're going to take down all the barricades they had to keep the zombies out. And these bikers are going to be so busy with the zombies, they're not going to have time to pay any attention to them, Matt.
Yeah.
So they have more than enough time to fill up the helicopter with food, water, medical supplies, and then just get out of there. But as we know, that's not what happens. Peter is like, Steven, what are you doing? And okay, then they have like this shit show go down now with these bikers. The next scene is the bikers half of the time shooting at the zombies and then shooting at Peter and Steven. While I think Francine is waiting up in the apartment they have now prepared for themselves. And yeah, that's basically the next scene's going down. Tom Savini, by the way, is like, the main biker because, like he's the one you see the most. He actually figures out where Peter is, follows him for a short while, and the entire thing goes on. However, eventually, I think Tom Savini gets killed by one of the zombies. But this is also a funny thing because this character that Savini plays actually shows back up in Land of the Dead as a zombie. What I thought is brilliant.
Yeah, he does. He does. I was going to bring that up if you didn't bring it up. Yeah, he does. Yeah, they did that on purpose.
Yeah,
Tom
however,
Savini's a funny guy. He if he has an effect in a film that he's really proud of, he wants to be the guy who does the effect, right? So I read up on this because I'm a huge fan of Tom Savini. In this movie specifically, he wanted to be the guy that put the machete in this one zombie's head, because it's a really cool effect.
That's me. Kaboom. With my padding hanging out of the shirt there.
Oh, poor Lenny.
Okay. I think I'll split your brain in half.
Lenny Lee's famous
Say
machete
goodnight.
zombie.
Wow.
Ouch. I worked with Lenny a couple years back, and he had no idea that he was on posters in France.
You're kidding.
I said, there's like a billboard with you on it.
He's on my logo.
He said, really? Actually, I gave him your business card. Said, oh, that is me. Look.
The girl from the crew who played her before. There's a cutout hole in the machete. Cleek. George said, go in there and just kick some ass. Yeah, kick some zombies' ass here in this scene. Okay, let's go, Tasso. And, Tasso is a fight director, and so am I.
And they use the same effect in Friday the 13th part 4, where a guy gets a cleaver in the face, right? And it's done in reverse. And he's like, this is a really easy effect to fuck up if you don't do it right, so I want to be the one to do it. And they were like, well, why don't you just take a main part in the film and we'll let you do that part? So he's the guy who puts the machete in the zombie's face and then pulls it back out. And that's the whole reason he wanted to do his effect. And I can't say enough good things about Tom Savini. He is one of the reasons we have these incredible effects in almost every decent horror movie from the late 70s to the mid 2000s. This guy's hands are in everything, right? And thank God for Tom Savini.
That is
and
true.
I'm always happy to see him in every film he's in because he's a great character. From Dusk Till Dawn is also a great example.
That's good.
Dude, he is
from
just
Dusk
such
Till
a
Dawn,
smart guy, you know? Like he's the guy in From Dusk Till Dawn that has like the penis what is it? It's like a penis gun that pops up on his, his crotch and fires. That's all his idea. And he's like, I want to do that effect. Make me that character. And for that reason alone, he's been in every one of these films. I love him to death. Great guy.
Yeah. Okay. Then eventually, this is also, even though there's a lot happening in this scene specifically, the entire shit show going down between the bikers, the zombies, Peter and Steven.
Yeah.
Is the scene where eventually Francine is waiting upstairs. She's waiting for Peter and Steven because the plan was actually for them to meet her in the helicopter and for them to basically, leave.
Right.
Eventually, I think the zombie more or less drive the bikers away. A lot of them get killed or turned, rather. And then I think 2 bikers are leaving the mall. Then Peter actually shoots one of them off the bike, where he goes to get his gun, but then this biker is surrounded by zombies, and then the zombies just, fully surround him and rip him to pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Pig intestines, yeah.
Yeah.
It really looks like those are real pig intestines. They really look like it as well. Yeah. Okay. Then eventually Peter manages to get back up to the apartment where they were living, but he's being followed by multiple zombies. In the process, Steven got bit by one of the zombies and locked himself up in the elevator.
Yep.
And on his way up, what Peter knows is he knows that Steven is now one of the zombies and is following them up into the apartment. Yeah.
This is that part. It's because, and they mentioned it early, like these zombies retain memories from their human self, right? And so Steven is aware where the entrance is to where they are. And so the zombie version of him is like, oh, they're there. So he goes and helps break down the barrier into the room that everybody's hanging out in. And that's why the room gets broken into, is because he remembers from when he was human where to go, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
It's like a cool scene. So you have to be careful who you let become a zombie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They shoot Steven, and then Peter turns around to Francine and says, okay, get into the helicopter and leave. He says, are you not coming with me? This is where Peter decides he's staying. He can't do it anymore. So basically, he doesn't want to continue. What?
Right.
what is understandable considering the situation they're in. Nah? However, Francine climbs out the window, and Peter locks himself in the room. And Francine is in the helicopter getting everything ready. While Peter is then sitting in the room. Hearing the zombies slamming on the door, and he's waiting there with his gun. Also getting him prepared to kill himself.
Yeah.
But then a change of mind, and just says like, fuck it, rips open the door, fights his way through the zombies, punching every single one of them in the face, punching and kicking them in the face or whatever.
This scene, Mike, is ridiculous because, I have to put this into perspective. There was an original ending that was filmed here that was very, very, very dreary. And I'll get into exactly what happened there. But once that was filmed, that was supposed to be the final ending of this film. And the studio, this is the only thing that the studio intervened on. They were like, no, we are not doing this ending. This is ridiculous. This is going to cause people to hate the movie. We're not doing it. And so the director, Romero, was like, so you want a happy ending? And they were like, yes, it has to be happy or people not going to go see it. So he did the ending that we all see now, and he hated it. And that's why you get this music that comes in when this guy when the thing decides not to shoot himself in the head. It's like this happy, cheery, ridiculous hero music. He stands up, fights his way through the zombies, comes upstairs, gets in the helicopter, and they fly away, and that's the end of the movie, right? It's a very happy, okay ending.
Yeah.
The original ending, which you can look it up on YouTube and find it, it is so fucking dreary, but I prefer it, right? So what he does is when the zombies are getting closer, he actually shoots himself in the head. He blows his brains out. When she up top realizes he is not coming out, she hears the gunshot. And when she realizes he's not coming out, she steps out of the helicopter and looks up at the blades, and there's some boxes sitting next to the helicopter. She steps on a box and sticks her head into the rotor blades and decapitates herself. And that's the end of the film. That was the original ending, and it's a so much better ending than what we got. The ending that we got is cheesy. It's cheesy as fuck.
Yeah, it is. But how should I say it? I mean, they didn't have to put in the music or whatever, but still, I am also a guy. I don't really think that movie is half. I mean, I do like it to see one or two people get away. Specifically due to the fact that, this is a zombie apocalypse, but even in a zombie apocalypse, I do think civilization would continue existing to a certain degree. What it does, as you can see in the Dead series, specifically Land of Dead, and further, specifically Land of the Dead. That was the one that shows that human civilization, as we know, it still continues to exist, just in a different way. Even though Land of the Dead started to get a little bit ridiculous, but still, I would not say it was a bad movie. It was a little bit weird, but it was still kind of, it was amusing.
I'm hazy on the Land of the Dead thing. In Land of the Dead, was that Romero as well?
Yes.
It was. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Land of the Dead.
The tone for Land of the Dead is so much different than these first three films, you know?
Yeah. Land of the Dead was also made by
John Romero. Okay. Because John Romero himself, he has stated the reason he did these movies, and you can look this up. He wanted to show the downfall of humanity because he didn't really think well of humanity to begin with. And so all of these movies were kind of going to be just a means to an end of the human race, right? He's very much one of those people that says human beings are doomed to destroy themselves, and this would be like the ultimate ending. So he's very much that kind of person. And this movie and the actual original ending of this movie shows that. And so when I saw Land of the Dead is obviously a much more positive film, if you can say that, than these three films were. And so that strikes me as strange that that's a Romero movie, honestly.
Well, no,
Even though it was
not
a great
really. I
film.
mean, because even though it is a great film and it is extremely weird. I mean, I would say pretty dark because just like you agree, nah. George R. Romero himself still had a certain kind of, I would say, hope that humanity or civilization will continue to exist in one form or another. And
Yeah.
also, what people don't know is that the Dead series is not over. That the final movie has not yet come out because George R. Romero wanted to continue making movies. And I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but the final movie of the Dead franchise is going to be released within the next 2 or 3 years. And it's going to be titled Twilight of the Dead.
Dude, what the fuck? I didn't know that.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
George R. Romero is George R. Romero is going to make another Dead movie, and it is supposed to be the final movie of the Dead franchise. Let me just check. I'm pretty sure I know.
Sign me up, dude. We're doing that one for the podcast the minute it comes out.
I'm also pretty sure that even it was already the casting of certain characters was already announced. However, the thing is, it is not being directed by George R. Romero, but the story was written by George R. Romero.
That's good enough for me.
That is, because he wanted to make his final movie, and it never really came around to happening, but it actually is happening now. It's announced that his movie is being produced, and Kate Beckinsale is going to be playing the main character in the movie. That is what is official. It is official that Kate Beckinsale is going to be starring in the final Dead movie.
Good shit. I love
Just
Kate
let's see if she's going to. But to be honest, I would even be fine if they have her as a vampire in spandex hunting zombies.
Fine with me. With me. I'm just happy that there's going to be a clear end, because if you go with Land of the Dead being the last one, it doesn't really set up a clear ending. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying if that were to be the end one, it doesn't set up a clear ending to what happens.
Chronological might be, because after Land of the Dead came Diary of the Dead and then Survival of the Dead.
All right, Survival. I forgot about Survival. Yeah. Okay.
And Diary.
That one wasn't all that great from what I remember.
Survival. No, Survival. I mean, Diary of the Dead was good. It was basically it showed it was kind of like Night of the Living Dead, just it showed in that time period is kind of like a prequel sequel, whatever. Yeah. But was interesting about Diary of the Dead was that it had like a Blair Witch filming to it.
Style,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure what that's called in English, but
found footage.
That was what exactly. That is what made Diary of the Dead special. It was cool. But in Survival of the Dead, they took characters that appeared in Diary of the Dead. They were like these militia military group, and they are the main protagonists of Survival of the Dead. So far, Survival of the Dead was the last movie that was made, and I'm not entirely sure when that one came out, but let me see. Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead. We got Diary of the Dead, and now my internet is lagging.
Those were
come on.
Those were 80s, weren't they?
Yeah,
I think those were 80s. Diary of the Dead. Wasn't Diary of the Dead like 1980?
No, they were from the 2000s, dude. Survival of the Dead came out in 2010. And Diary of the Dead as well, it came out in the 2000s. Those movies were from the 2000s, dude.
Okay.
Yes, Diary of the Dead was made in 2008. That was Diary of the Dead. And Survival of the Dead came out in 2010.
Okay, 20. Yeah, okay.
But the final movie, George R. Romero. I'm not even sure. Is George R. Romero even still alive?
Yeah, as far as I mean, I didn't hear of him dying.
As far as
I feel like a bad horror fan if he died and I didn't know it.
I wasn't aware of that. But however, he's not directing it. There are basically 2 directors so far that are directing it, but he wrote the story. But so far, he was also he did Living of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and Survival of the Dead. But this is like the first Dead movie that he is not directing. So who knows how it would turn out. But however, he wrote the story, and Kate Beckinsale is going to be in it. So that's definitely a reason to watch it.
Sign me up. Never going to turn down an opportunity to see Kate Beckinsale do anything. She's been in some of my favorite fucking horror movies. So that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, like you said, we're going to have to do it when it comes out in the theater for the podcast. That'd be a shame not to. For sure.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. And the people just to show off how much Dawn of the Dead drags. I've had the movie now run side by side just so we don't forget anything or nothing important. No? The movie is now at the montage scene, where they're in the Maldives.
Yeah, dude. So anybody who hasn't seen this movie, don't expect to go into it being an action-packed film. I mean, if you
it's not.
If you like zombie movies, you're gonna love it because it is a great film and it's a staple to the genre. That said, have some patience. Please have some patience. Because it does drag.
It drags, but even though it drags, it still is. It's a good zombie movie, and I really like it. And if you're a zombie fan, I just do think this is it is a movie you should see. I think every zombie fan should know the original George R. Romero trilogy. You know?
Yeah. If you're gonna call yourself a fan of the zombie genre, then you have to have known and seen this film. Period.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know anybody who hasn't seen it. I think my mom even saw this movie. You know, and she doesn't even like horror movies. It was just that much of a zeitgeist at the time.
I know a lot. I know a lot of people that haven't seen the original. No, but those aren't even horror or zombie fans. No, but I've also met zombie fans that like zombies a little, but have never seen the original George R. Romero trial.
Okay.
No, I
hate to be a supremacist, but I'm not sure you can call yourself a zombie fan then, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what, Mike? The only thing that would have made this movie better...
I prefer...
I'm sorry to cut you off. There's a delay. The only thing that would have made this movie better, and maybe you could agree with me, is there needs to be some random white guy stepping out of the side of the frame saying, "You bunch of yo-yos." I missed the yo-yos reference, man. Come on, somebody has to step out and be like, "You bunch of yo-yos."
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think I was just talking about, but just generally, I wasn't saying much, just the thing that basically just what I was bringing up, that this is definitely a trilogy.
Yeah.
You should know if you're a zombie, or at least, I would say know of the existence. You could say you have like people that are, let's say, a younger generation of, let's say, 30 or younger. No? Yeah. I can understand that. I can understand the point if you have like, okay, these people are not interested in movies that were made decades before they were born. I get that. That's fine. No?
Yeah.
But a lot of those people even know the name George R. Romero. They know that the original trilogy existed, but they're all aware with Dawn of the Dead remake from 2004.
Right.
That is what. No. Yeah. What is fine, by the way. No. And also, there was. I'm not sure. A remake of Day of the Dead that a lot of people hated. I loved it. No,
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I would see it as, I think it was it called Blood Day or Blood Rain or whatever? No, I'm not sure. Something with Blood Days, I think. No?
Blood Days, yeah.
That movie in itself, that was like the perfect equivalent, to the Dawn of the Dead remake, in my opinion.
Yes.
No?
Yes, it was. It was great. I loved it.
It was like, yeah.
but correct me if I'm wrong. I think in terms of remakes, for the original trilogy, every one of these movies, Part 2 and Part 3, got a remake, right? But Part 1 never did. Night of the Living Dead never got a remake.
No.
Am I right about that?
No.
Yeah.
Right. Night of the Living Dead never got a remake. I mean, Day of the Dead got multiple remakes. Multiple, by the way. No?
And Dawn of the Dead.
One where even what?
And Dawn of the Dead, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Dawn of the Dead. The only remake I know of Dawn of the Dead was the Zack Snyder one. That is the only one I'm aware of.
That's the one I'm referring to. That was the remake. Supposedly, even though it had nothing to do with the Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. To say it have nothing to do with Dawn of the Dead is Matt. I mean, come on. It's the same plot. It's the same concept. It's the same situation, and you're saying it has nothing to do with Dawn of the Dead.
Well, nothing to do.
Dude, come on.
It doesn't have. Okay. I don't know. I just hold Dawn of the Dead in such high regards that if you're going to call something a remake, at least kind of keep up with what happened in that film a little bit. Like, this film had its remake, and it is very similar. Boy, we've really got some lag.
What do you mean? Do you mean Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead? I'm a little bit.
Dawn of the Dead.
Do you mean?
I'm sorry. No, I'm confusing.
Dawn of the Dead. Yes,
I'm confusing things. Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we talk about the Day of the Dead remake. Then as it is on Netflix, I think Blood Day or whatever. I'm not sure which one, because there were two Day of the Dead remakes. By the way. Yeah. One that had nothing to do with anything. Was not a bad movie in itself, but was nothing to do with the Dead series. But then there's Day of the Dead. That was a 1-to-1 remake of the original Day of the Dead. That movie, I loved it. I thought I would consider really that movie to be the Day of the Dead to the Dawn of the Dead remake. And it's like, even though a lot of I had discussions with people, mainly on the internet, that did not really like this movie that much. But for me, I thought it was brilliant either way they did it. I mean, it was a true remake. It was the characters were basically the same. Maybe not the name, but however, for the most part, the characters were the same. The plot was the same. What turned off a lot of people is that in the end, it had a happy ending. No, well, it does not bother me, to be honest. I mean, how should I say it? Happy endings don't bother me. It depends on the movie, if it makes sense. You know, I mean, it makes. How should I say it? With the Day of the Dead remake, basically what happens is, because of this one intelligent zombie that comes around, they manage to create a vaccine. That basically, if you can take it, it'll prevent you from becoming a zombie, more or less. Right. And consider the fact that this is people. The girl that does that is a doctor or a scientist or whatever. Considering the fact that they're at a military bunker, at a military facility, they have this laboratory, whatever. However, the story was written, that happy ending in itself made sense. So I'm like, fine, I'm fine with that. But still, like I said, great remake by.
I'm fine with them keep making remakes too, because I feel like this genre specifically has a lot of staying power. Zombies just generally do. For whatever reason, society and people that love horror stuff have been captivated with zombie stuff for so long that it has the potential to make movies forever. I just hope that they're good. You know what I mean? I feel like Walking Dead was okay, and that was kind of a nice continuation of the story. But Walking Dead, there was not enough zombie stuff for me, if that makes any sense. I want something that is more like zombie-oriented and less people-oriented. You know?
But that's kind of... The Walking Dead, but had nothing to do with George R. Romero.
No, I know.
I know. It's an entirely different...
Yeah, I know.
But how should I say it? When it comes to The Walking Dead, I like The Walking Dead up until Negan came in. You know, I think that was season 6 or something, I think. I'm not entirely sure. But at that point, when Negan came in, it was there were multiple episodes where you didn't see any zombies anymore.
Yeah.
And it was like, sorry, this is one of the things where I tuned out because I'm like, I don't want to see a post-apocalyptic soap opera.
No,
And
just give me zombies, man.
Also, one of the things why I never watched the Last of Us show. For one, I'm not a Last of Us fan. I didn't like it. I fully agree with George R. Romero on The Last of Us. Now, funny thing, by the way. Fun fact.
Okay.
You know that the creator of The Last of Us, when he was a student, his class actually met George R. Romero, and they were supposed to present a pitch to George R. Neil Druckmann pitched his idea for The Last of Us to George R. Romero. George R. Romero hated it. He said it's the biggest horseshit he has ever seen.
I can see that.
If you people tell me, so the funny thing is, we're The Last of Us fan. If you like it, fine, no. But for me, if George R. Romero agrees with me 100% that The Last of Us adds nothing new to the zombie franchise,
it really
nothing.
Doesn't.
I mean, but however, I mean, okay, okay. I'm going to agree. I'm going to correct that one. You have zombies that have mushrooms coming out of their heads.
Yes.
But other than that, whatever. One of the reasons why I never played the games, don't care about them, because The Last of Us was for me just a Walking Dead ripoff. That's my opinion. No, but
fair.
Also, yeah. But also, when the show came out, I read multiple reviews from multiple media outlets. You saw it. You told me something about it. A few other people, and what I took away from it was that in the first 2 or 3 episodes, there are barely any zombies. I think in the first one, there are not any zombies at all. No?
Yeah.
And I mean, you saw it. You could probably. And the point is, that is like no.
Well,
at that point alone, I know
never
I'm not
watched season. I never watched season 2.
But, I mean, I'm
I
not
only watched season 1. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would say when I heard that, I'm like, no, I'm not watching a zombie show without zombies. That's the biggest horse shit I have ever heard of.
It is.
I mean, I could say a lot about the Last of Us, but it at least had zombies in it. If I watch a vampire show, I want to see vampires, at least one.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think what happened though, and this is going to get a lot of people stirred up, right? But I'm fine pissing people off. I feel like for a video game, I played the first one and the second one, and I didn't hate the video games, and that's because there was enough zombie-related stuff in the video games to enjoy it, right? And a lot of people say that. The video games were okay. The story really could do with some changing. I don't like the way the story went, but action-wise, it was a great zombie game. Then they made it into a show. The show is the worst fucking garbage that has ever been put out for zombies, in my opinion. The show is terrible. I didn't even watch season 2. I watched season 1, and that was enough for me. The game itself was good. I liked it. There's a lot of people who don't, and that's fine. But the show itself is trash. I can't even see that as part of the zombie genre because there's barely any zombies in it, and when they are in it, it sucks. There you go. Mushroom zombies. Fuck off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mushroom zombies.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
Mike, what's our next movie?
Well, it could be that actually there's a slot that's still yet open. There's one slot in our list that wasn't filled out yet.
Well, I was going to say we could do
what?
something different. We could do something different. We could, instead of saying what movie we're going to do, we could ask whoever sees this episode and is interested in doing a movie, write a movie in the comment. And if you write a movie in the comment and we don't already have it on the list and haven't already done it, we'll do it. How about that? Since we have a slot.
Well, brilliant. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So if you are watching
Why not?
this
Yeah, that's fine.
want
cool.
us
That's a
to
cool
do
idea.
Specific movie, since we have a slot, tell us what that is, and if it's a movie we have not done, we will do it. That's fair, right?
Yeah. So
write in
by
the
the
fucking
way,
comments, guys.
By the way, there's one follower that mentioned the movie to us that we haven't done yet. You know who you are. It's been a while since you've mentioned the movie to us, but we're eventually going to do it as well. Puppet Master.
Okay. Well, we'll do Puppet Master this time. We'll see what else somebody writes, but we will do Puppet Master eventually.
Yeah. But just to our follower who mentioned it, it's on our list. We're not going to say when we're going to do it, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So it's going to be a surprise what the next movie is. We'll see. You got anything else you want to say about this movie, Mike?
Yeah. No, not at all. I'm fine. I'm cool.
Okay. If you haven't seen it, go see it because it's worth seeing if you say you like the zombie genre. And until next time, I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.
The blackest eyes. The darkest eyes. Simply